So the trees are the shoe. Roughly about these are the Atreyu, like the artist. So I did just over 5k, roughly about 350.
Hello and welcome to Stammerer with me, John. So today I'm going to be looking at the Saucony Endorphin Pro number 1. Is it, in my opinion, that bad? Let's take a look. Welcome back. So previously I have stated that the Endorphin Pro number 1 is my worst shoe.
The Endorphin Pro number 1, which wins. I hate that shoe. That's just an awful shoe.
Said that I hate the shoe. I'm going to slightly retract that and just say that I don't hate the shoe. Of course I don't. But it's a shoe. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of this shoe. Let's talk about some of the stats. So this shoe is a 7.5 ounce shoe weighing 213 grams. It cost about £200 when it came out in 2019. It's got full power run PB in the midsole, which gives you 90% turn of energy, which is different to power run. It's a PB based sole. It's got an S-shape carbon plate, full carbon plate in the shoe, and it's the first shoe where they've implemented speed roll technology from Saucony. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the shoe. So for disclosure, I came to this shoe really late. So I like to try shoes, so shoes that I've never had. And last year I had an opportunity to get this pair from Facebook out the upper of this shoe. So I actually quite like the upper of this shoe. It's a sock-like upper, so it's sewn into the shoe, and the fit's actually, if you've got a wide foot, this is probably not the best shoe for you. It's quite a snug fit even in this 9, and I don't have the widest of feet, so it is actually quite a comfortable shoe. It's very quite flexible. It's not as maybe some of advanced as some of the other shoes along the line. This was 2019, I believe. So obviously uppers and things have advanced. So the midsole is power run PB P-bar sole. It's quite a thick sole. There's an 8mm drop. Don't know the stats from front to back, and you do get quite a lot of foam in the shoe. It reminds me of Boost, not in necessarily the way that it feels, but it reminds me of Boost just in the terms of how it looks. And it actually feels heavier than a 7.3 ounce shoe as well, because you have this big slap here. So how does it feel on foot, and why am I not the biggest fan of this shoe? Let's fast forward. So I raced and wore other shoes, carbon plate shoes, before I put this on. So I experienced the Alpha Fly, the Vaporfly 1 and 2. I've experienced some of the other ones as well. So when I put this on, it was more of a case of I wanted to give it a try because I'd never owned a pair. Now I put it on, and I owned the Speed 2 before I owned this, and it's very much similar upper on that. Now what I found with this immediately is that there's a big slab wedge here of Power Run PB, which I don't actually find it to be that comfortable. It is responsive, and you can feel that play. It's a shoe that wants to run. It's a shoe that wants to go really, really fast pace, but it doesn't have, and some people will describe it as quite soft. I do not find this a soft foam. I find it a responsive foam, but it's almost like a responsive foam in it just wants to bounce absolutely everywhere, and you don't feel like you have control over the foot strike in the shoe, or for me at least anyway. And I also found that one of the biggest things for me in the shoes, that every time I've put this on, for me personally, I can feel it really hurts my ankles, and I find that it plays havoc with the knees. So that's probably because of the style that I run. It may not be across the board, but I just find the midsole on this very aggressive, which some people may enjoy that, but I didn't particularly enjoy this shoe. It just felt like there's a brick of bounce on this shoe, and it wants to return the energy back to the shoe, but I feel it wants to give you too much. So too much of a good thing can be bad. Now, the speed roll tech in this is, I agree that it definitely wants to push you off, but because of the bounce in the shoe, I think it negates that foot strike, that bounce, and I personally didn't really feel it too much. I dislike the shoe for two reasons. Number one, the price of the shoe, and I would say that about any of the Nikes, any of those shoes that were £200, and the price for this shoe, I will concede this point, that if I'd have bought this shoe at full price around the same time as the Vaporfly, because I've never, that was the first super shoe that I owned, and that was a revelation. That was an amazing shoe. Vaporfly 2, they've definitely changed something on that foam, and I think they've made that shoe worse. I've not tried, well, I've had a little turn in number 3, and I will concede that if I'd have worn this after some of the other shoes, I probably would have thought this shoe was pretty amazing because of the feel of this shoe. I'm not saying that the feeling is good, I'm just saying it feels different to anything else, and I think that's because of the big wedge of foam, and the S-plate is it really wants to bounce. So I can imagine some people really get on with this shoe because of how it wants to go, and I think that if you are a proper athlete with really, really good form, I can see why you would enjoy this shoe. The other reason why I'm not the biggest fan of this shoe is the midsole. This shoe has injured me twice, and when a shoe injures you twice, I tend to kind of not let it injure me a third time. I have taken it out, and I will put the run up now, and I'll concede that it's a fast shoe, but I was holding back on this shoe because obviously scared of being injured. So this is not a shoe that I hate, absolutely not. but it's not a shoe that I love. I have retired this shoe because I just think that now that I'm older as well, it's just not worth. I love how it looks, but beyond that, I think that the shoe's just not for me. But I think that if you can still pick this up, then and you want to give it a try, then yeah. So to finish with, I'm going to retract what I said previously.
The Endorphin Pro number 1, which wins. I hate that shoe. That's just an awful shoe.
I don't hate the shoe at all. It's just a shoe that is not for me on the basis that I've got injured from the shoe, and I think that's probably what it is it doesn't suit me personally. I don't think it's a soft shoe. I think it's quite a firm shoe. It's firm to hard. It's not hard, but it is definitely firm. The midsole, it can be quite slick in the wet, so I would say that this is a limited use case shoe as well, is that it only really works when it's warmer and not wet. The upper, I can see the upper is good. It's snug. It's not as good as some of the uppers of today, but it's still a really good upper. And it's just a different kind of shoe. So I would appreciate if you like, favourite and subscribe, and if this video gets over 1,000 views, I'll give these away to somebody. I will give these, these are a size, I think these are a size 9, I'll just check, I think they're a size 9, and I will happily give these away to somebody to give them a test out. So if you want that, then like, favourite and subscribe, make a comment so I know who you are, and one lucky person or unlucky person will get to test the Saucony Endorphin number 1 out. Cool. And on that note, thank you. See you on the next one.